Everyone, welcome again. Thank you so much for joining the session. Let me give you a very quick introduction of Razy Shah. He's one of the BonBillo's venture partners, an angel investor and co-founder of both Chutney Ads and Two Stallions. It's a digital marketing agency operating across Singapore and Malaysia. Over the past 13 years, Razy has worked across entrepreneurship, technology, marketing, and business growth. He advises leadership teams and helps organizations turn emerging technologies like AI into real business outcomes. He's also the host of Clueless Capitalist podcast, where he explores entrepreneurship and realities of building and scaling businesses through super insightful conversations with founders, operators, and investors. And what makes Razi's perspective especially valuable is that he's not just talking about these ideas, he's actively building businesses and testing all of these strategies in the market every single day. And most recently, he has authored Winning in the Age of AI, a book that argues that as AI becomes more powerful and accessible, the real competitive advantage shifts towards trust, reputation, relationships, and human connection. So today we will be discussing AI, entrepreneurship, startup growth, and how founders can build lasting advantages in this rapidly changing world. Razy, thank you so much for being here today with our BonBillo community. And before we get into the lessons from the book, I would really love to know what inspired you to write it. Was there any specific moment when you thought this needs more than a LinkedIn post, this deserves a book? Would love to hear more from you.
Sure. Thank you, Ashna. Thank you, Suraj. Thank you to the BonBillo team for inviting me to share some of my journey or some of the things that I've learned or some of the things I picked up. In terms of what inspired me to do the book, I'll give you a slightly more detailed example, story behind it, just to share my screen.
Yeah.
If you look at my screen, if you ask I in Singapore who is Razy Shah, it will tell you that all the things that Ashna has said, that I run a marketing agency for close to 14 years now. I've recently launched a venture it's been about 2 years with one of the BonBillo portfolio companies, Brio Shop, called Chutney Ads. I also teach. So I teach at this Indian business school called SP Jain. So I've been teaching the marketing and buying behavior. So in terms of the book and why the book exists, so if you look at ChatGPT, right? So when ChatGPT first came into the market in December of 2022, early January of 2023, immediately I knew that this is going to impact the marketing services that we provide in terms of the demand for the service, in terms of the pricing for the service. And true enough, within a few months, we lost a number of our clients who used to engage us for content marketing. And over time, over the past few years, people have kept asking me, hey, Razy, how do I, from business owners, startup founders, to my friends, people in my networks, they're all wondering, how do we survive this age of AI? Everybody's, hey, let me learn the latest tool. And the thing about the tools is they keep updating. So it's very difficult to keep up on a daily basis, the competition between all of these platforms. So it's very hard to keep up. So I was then reflecting on 14 years of building this marketing agency, the lessons I've learned, and my stories from these 14 years that I think are evergreen, that will stand doesn't matter what age it is the age of AI or what comes after. So I just decided to put this into a book with stories from business, stories from my own personal life, how I've lived it, how I've experienced it, and how all of these elements to build trust, to engineer leverage, to build human connection, how it's going to be helping you beyond as AI takes over. Human connection is still going to be important. So basically, it's a manual for people who've been asking me these questions, and it's something to guide them. The other thing about the book, interestingly enough, I also had this desire of putting a book into a physical bookstore. So my book is in a bookstore chain in Malaysia called MPH. If you go and take a look at it for the online edition of this bookstore this week, so it's been about more than a month since the book has been live in the bookstore. This week it is in position number 6, alongside some really interesting titles.